really looking forward to meeting all sorts of animals.
Fantastic. I think I had a very similar experience with the same carpet python earlier today. Thank you very much.
He's very kind though, isn't he?
He was kind. Another kind man is Tim Webster.
Thank you, Lynn. And down to Peter and Jenny for the next. Now, Peter, you know how I said I'd gone well on Tuesday and Thursday?
Yes.
Could you help me, please? Because I'm not going very well today at all. Big trouble.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tim, on the looks, I've gone for Northern Embossing each way, Jen. I wouldn't be going too far past it on looks.
I've got to say, he does look terrific here today. I haven't put him in my selections, but certainly one worth considering.
Let's have a quick look at them. Seascay's the one you like, but he's short enough.
He is short enough, Peter, but I do think he's a class horse in the race. The 2,500 here as a 7-year-old, as I mentioned, the only time he ran in that was in the New Zealand Derby when he was a 3-year-old. I just think he's probably got enough class to win this.
Royal Snack would be a chance if this was the Moe Cup, but it's not.
Well, he's won 3 of them. He was going for 4 in a row, wasn't he?
I think he was
very
going for
wide.
5, actually.
5, was it?
Yeah.
Very, very wide on that occasion, so he didn't have the best of luck there. He's a horse that is just very consistent. He's trained by George Hanlon, a freak trainer, and I must say that he's there with some chance.
They were declaring Vitaman at Moonee Valley in the Grosby Gold Cup, and I thought the run was pretty disappointing, to be honest, but he does look very well.
Yes, you go on his run in the Moe. I thought that effort there was pretty good, and he's probably there with the place chance. He did tend to over-race a little bit last start.
Backslap is going to be hard to beat if he gets his own way in front.
Yes, he led. He was well ridden on Saturday. He's backing up here. I just don't know whether he's got the class of a horse like Seascay, but there with a place chance.
Bright Spot around the 14-1 mark.
And not a lot of luck for Bright Spot at Geelong there in the Cup. I just wonder whether or not he's got the class, maybe a place chance.
Aphasia was another one that had no luck in the Geelong Cup, nearly fell before the turn.
And very wide too in the Geelong Cup. So definitely one of the horses that does come into it with a rough place chance as well.
We've already spoken about Northern Embossing, number 8. I think is probably a good each-way chance, and certainly on looks will take some tossing. And number 10, Ferdinand, Jen, I suppose is outclassed here.
Yes, totally outclassed in this race. So I see it number 2, Seascay from, number 4, Vitaman, and number 7, Aphasia.
Each way Northern Embossing from me. Here's Tim Gossage with an update in the betting ring.
Almost 2 favourites here, equal favourites, Seascay and Vitaman. Not a great deal of money for Vitaman, but good money for Seascay early. And all of a sudden, as soon as you said it's not the Moe Cup, the money came for Royal Snack. It's what, $21 on the tote, 5 or 6 points shorter in the ring. Good money for the old-timer, Royal Snack.
There's another old-timer in the betting ring, Tim Gossage with that report. Let's go to a break now. On the other side of this break, the Queen Elizabeth Stakes. You're watching the final day of the 1997 Melbourne Cup Carnival live and exclusively on Network 10.
Sitting.
Wonderful sight here at Flemington, and this crowd, which is not as big as the first 3 days of the carnival, of course, but still a monstrous crowd for the final day, is watching these runners mill around behind the start for the Queen Elizabeth Stakes. And they start at the 200-metre mark. It is only a small field of 8, though, so barriers really not any consequence here. They'll run a lap once they get to the winning post, and after that lap, I've gone for Northern Embossing, Jen's gone for Seascay, Richard Freedman and John Letts have gone for Vitaman. Roy Higgins, what have you gone for?
Pete, I found it very hard to go outside or away from number 4, Vitaman. Lovely horse. He looked absolutely outstanding. Blinkers off today, which will suit. 2 lightweights here, an 8 Northern Embossing and 7 Aphasia. Both look well, no weight on their back. And the old boy, 2, Seascay. He gets his chance here, although he could be a bit of a distanced out, but he does look excellent in the yard. I went 4, 8, 7 and 2.
The thoughts of Roy Higgins on the Queen Elizabeth. We just saw Vitaman moving into the stalls. Gary Willits, I'm sure you'd agree with Roy. He does look a picture.
Looks tremendous. He just over-raced a little bit at Moonee Valley, and you know, you go back to his other 2 previous runs, and he'd won them both. And I think with the blinkers off, he will relax. Old Seascay looks pretty good, and he's pretty good on this day. He's ran pretty well on that mile a couple of times.
Certainly has been his day. Seascay twice he's won the Group 1 feature mile race back in 94 and 95. So stepping up to the 2,500 for the first time today, Seascay. And away they go too. Royal Snack snagged out the back early. Bright Spot was the best to actually begin. He lobbed in front, but Vitaman's going to go around him and work to the lead. Backslap a 3rd at the winning post with a lap to go. Northern Embossing was 4th. It's on the outside of Seascay, who very quickly settled into a lovely spot 5th and very relaxed as well. Then Ferdinand, easing back. Aphasia is now last, and Royal Snack on its inside as they head out of the straight. 2,100 metres to go, and the leader is Vitaman, just lobbing along in front. About about 3/4 of a length to Backslapper, who's going to go up and put some pressure on here. In fact, he'll go to the lead, Backslapper. He takes over, and down the back at the 1900, Backslapper leads Vitaman. 2 lengths away, Bright Spot third. Another 2 to Northern Embossing fourth on the outside of Seascape. 2.5 lengths to Ferdinand, and then Royal Snack, and a length away the mare Aphasia, who would be about 8 or 10 lengths off the lead. 1,600 metres left to travel, and the leader is Backslapper. Backslapper in front, allowed to roll along at its leisure now. It's 3 lengths in front of Vitaman. 2 lengths away third, Bright Spot. 1.5 to Northern Embossing fourth, and fifth the inside is Seascape. He's just gone to sleep over on the rails there. 3 lengths away back third last Ferdinand, the bolter of the field, and then Royal Snack and Aphasia last. Well, Backslapper slipped further in front. He probably led 5 or 6 lengths at the 1200 from Vitaman second. 2.5 lengths to Bright Spot. Another length and a half to Northern Embossing outside Seascape. 2 to Ferdinand, Royal Snack and Aphasia. 1,000 left to go, and Backslapper is a clear leader, trying to make it 2 wins within the week here at Flemington, and Backslapper led 5 lengths. Vitaman running second, a length to Bright Spot, and then Seascape fourth on the inside of Northern Embossing. Ferdinand third last around Royal Snack and Aphasia last, but again only 8 off the lead. Backslapper 3 in front at the 800 from Vitaman, who's on the inside of Bright Spot. 2 to Seascape, and then Northern Embossing around Ferdinand. 2 lengths Aphasia written up now, and last on its inside was Royal Snack. They've got 600 left to go, and Backslapper's rounding the turn in front of Vitaman. Bright Spot, Seascape's over on the rails fourth, and then Northern Embossing, Royal Snack, Ferdinand under pressure, and Aphasia under the whip, but it's Backslapper down to the 400, leading by a length to Vitaman. Seascape still working home, and Bright Spot battling on. Vitaman goes up to Backslapper. Bright Spot battling on, and Seascape along the rails. Vitaman hit the lead. Out after it, Bright Spot, then Seascape. Vitaman a length in front. Bright Spot wearing away at it. It's Vitaman and Bright Spot. Vitaman the inside. Bright Spot a neck away. Vitaman and Bright Spot. Vitaman with his head in front, and Vitaman's won it by a head. Second in Bright Spot, about 3 lengths away. Third, I think Royal Snack might have got there in front of Seascape. Then came Backslapper. Next time would have been Northern Embossing, and Ferdinand, and last in and never travelling well was Aphasia.
Well, Vitaman, it was a great ride by Brian York. He was pulling very hard early, and then when Backslapper went past him down the back, well, Brian York, he was still pulling pretty hard, but he was able to just hold him there, let him come up, but by gee, he had to pull on all his resources to hold off Bright Spot in the finish stand.
Photo called for here, 2:38 the time. And Royal Snack getting right up along the rails has probably got into third here. Photo
Yes.
called for, and we still haven't got the result as yet. Oh, it's pretty close. Look at that. It's very close to a dead heat. In fact, it is a dead heat. It's a dead heat. Vitaman and Bright Spot couldn't be separated, so it's a dead heat.
There they
So
go.
I think that might have surprised a few. 4 and 6 are dead heating here.
One jockey with the stick in the left hand and one with it in the right. And here they go, locked together. And as you say, they couldn't separate them.
Again, it was just the bob of the heads, and they were virtually in unison on that line only. You have a look there, and there's nothing in between the line and the nose.
Just right on it.
And number 3 getting third, and that's Royal Snack. The Seascape, look, it was given every possible chance, Gary.
Could not have had a better runner. In fact, I thought, you know, at the 1400, and you said he'd gone to sleep. I thought, well, if he's ever going to run the distance, he'll do it now, because he, as you said, he had gone to sleep, had a beautiful cut up behind Vitaman, but he just didn't go home.
Dead heat there. We have a look in the run on. Vitaman's probably a half length in front. Bright Spot kept whacking away. I noticed that Vitaman did push Bright Spot out a little wider on the turn. Anyway, the man with the job of interviewing both the winners of the Queen Elizabeth, John Letts.
Fellas, everything happens at Flemington, doesn't it, over the Cup Carnival? Michael Carson, you thought you'd got up?
I thought right on the line, yeah, my horse had his head stuck out, and I thought I'd just got him on the line.
And Brian, you on Vitaman?
Yeah, I thought I'd won too, so we were both right.
You were both right, but you both had a good run during the race, and gee, it was a real titanic struggle, wasn't it, over the last 200 metres?
It was, yeah. Well, this bloke's probably done the work of carting the field up to the leader too, so his effort's been very good.
Well, you threw out the tip, didn't you, Brian, really, by staying down here to ride at the last other carnival? Good. Half a good luck, Brian. Same to you, Mike. It's great to win a race over the Cup Carnival.
No, that's for sure, Johnny.
Yeah, he ran a good race 2 starts ago, and he's deserved his win today.
Yeah, well, I followed Brian all the way, and we both had a lovely run, and we couldn't split each other, so it was a good finish.
Good luck, Mike.
John Letts with the winning jockeys, and we're talking to the winning trainers now. And first of all, the trainer of Bright Spot, Terry Whitford. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. Yeah, he really grained away there. I didn't think he won it when I was watching, but he put up a good performance.
Yeah, to us it looked as though, well, it looked clear enough to swear by, so that's a pleasant surprise for you.
Yeah, it is a pleasant surprise, yeah, to do with the money.
Big odds. Did you have something on him?
Yeah, a few bob on him there. Oh, he always is big odds, so that doesn't worry me.
He was flying pretty high. Did you really think that he had a chance against the likes of Vitaman and Seascape?
I really thought, you know, that could have been the Quinella, you know, this morning. That's the way it sort of went, you know. I thought he had a chance like that.
All right, we'll enjoy the moment as he comes back in.
Good on you, thanks, Peter.
That's the trainer of Bright Spot, and that was Terry Whitford. And we've also got Morris Campbell, the trainer of Vitaman. Well, did you think you'd won, Morris?
Oh, sitting back here, Pete, you couldn't tell nothing from up the stand here, but I knew the last couple of strides were getting a bit close, but I heard the caller say, yeah, we'd got it, but and that was the last thing until I heard a dead heat, so I'm happy with the dead heat, and I'm happy with the win, yeah.
He looks superb in the yard today, and I think you pulled the blinkers off after Moonee Valley.
Yeah, I was a little bit concerned, but he's a free running type of horse, but he's just sort of been working himself a bit hard early, and even today he just worked a bit hard early, but he's so brilliant, you know, and he's probably a mile and a half, 2,500 metres as far as he wants at the moment, because he's probably a brilliant 2,000 metre horse, you know. But I'll give him, I'll have a look in the next couple of days about the Sandown Cup, but otherwise I think at this point in time we'll just give him a break now. He's shown any amount, and I originally brought him down to Melbourne to run in the Country Cups, and I started off at Maui, and then we sort of thought, well, you know, the way the fields had sort of thinned out a bit, we'd give him an opportunity the way he won, and anyway, so we're pleased. We're really happy. Yeah. We've set out to do something, and it's come off, so we're very happy. Yeah.
As you say, half a win's better than nothing. Well done.
Well, it's 30,000 per second, so that gets split, that goes in the kitty too, so half of that, so it makes a difference.
Good on you, Morris.
Thanks, Pete.
Morris Campbell and also Terry Whitford, the winning trainers. A dead heat, a surprise result after the Queen Elizabeth Stakes. We'll take a break and back with the correct weight signal at Flemington after this.
Stands, the owners get terribly excited. This is the excitement, the fun of racing. To see your horse go around and to see it win during Melbourne Cup Week is a real pleasure indeed. We're looking for correct weight, but we might go down to Peter Donegan in the meantime, who has some news for us.
Yes, Tim, there might be something happening here because Michael Carson, the rider of Bright Spot, has asked to have a look at the video, the steward's video of the race. So if there was any interference at all, one would think that there could be a good chance that Michael Carson might throw in a protest, and there is the answer. He has protested. So it'll be second against the winner, or it'll be the dead heater against the dead heater, I should say. So used to saying that, Jen.
Yes.
First against first it is, equal first against first. Bright Spot against Vitaman. Of course, broadcaster Greg Miles is just about to announce the details on this protest. Des Gleeson just completing the formalities in there, and then they'll go in, and of course our cameras can go in with them. So the details of the protest coming through from Greg Miles now. It's Michael Carson, the rider of Bright Spot, protesting against Vitaman being declared the winner, and he is alleging interference from the 400-metre mark to the winning post. So from the 400 to the winning post, it's the equal winner Bright Spot against Vitaman, alleging interference from the 400 to the winning post. Jen, of course we can't show the interference now, but what we can show is what goes on in the steward's room, and hopefully we'll be able to get in there and take a look at that.
Yes, it will be an interesting one, won't it? Because being a dead heat, if there was a little bit of interference there, it might make a big difference.
Well, really, if that interference has cost that horse Bright Spot 1 inch,
yes,
then it wins the race.
Yes, so that's true.
In the opinion of the stewards, of course.
Yes, and what you saw before, well, we've got a race 7.5 about to happen too, and that is the Shetland Hurdle Race, which is always a little bit of fun to watch.
Well, the good thing is that the people here at Flemington can have a look at the Shetland Hurdle Race, but viewers around Australia and indeed around the world, especially through North America, on Network 10 can watch what goes on in the steward's room. And there is the rider of Vitaman, Brian York.
Standing Mrs. Dale and Mr. Thompson there.
Chairman of Stewards Des Gleeson will conduct the proceedings. They'll have a look at the Stewards Patrol video of the race from many varied angles. They'll be able to look at the side on, they'll be able to look at the head on, they'll be able to look at the patrol video from the back, and maybe, just maybe, they might be able to have a look at the shot from the Whitman's lightship, because Des Gleeson last year did want to use some of the footage from the lightship. and if indeed that is available to him, then I'm sure that would come in as a big help for the stewards. Proceedings just at a bit of a lull at the moment because you can see that Michael Carson is not in there as yet. We spoke to the two trainers, they'll be in there as well. Terry Whitford, well, I'm sure his heart's in his mouth at the moment, although he wouldn't have expected to be in there in the first place, really, as far as dead heating is concerned. But even if it had been a short half head, Jen, they still probably would have thrown in a protest.
Yes, well, as I mentioned before, Peter, there is so much money involved in these races here over the carnival. It is really worthwhile throwing in a protest if there is enough cause for the interference there. And being a dead heat, well, it gives them a good chance, doesn't it?
While we wait, let's have a look at the next race on the card, which is race 8, the Hilton on the Park Stakes at 5 minutes after 4. Scratchings 13 Albert Park, 16 Power and Glory, and 19 Source of Divorce. So we've got a field of 16. I thought Rock You, but gee, it's a fair bit of put, 59.5.
Yes, a lot of weight for Rock You, but he's a very good horse down the straight, so he's definitely got to be there with some chance. I do like number 15 here, Suit, only a 3-year-old. He got a mile back and ran on very well at Moonee Valley last start. He's a horse that tries very, very hard in his races. I thought he was going to be hard to beat, Peter, here. Number 5, Ruleen, goes well fresh, and also number 1, Rock You for third.
Righto, well, we can see there that number 18, Uraba, I don't know whether it's G-Boss to be ridden by Uraba or Uraba to be ridden by G-Boss. But anyways, they line up for the Shetland ponies. Here's a bloke, if he was riding the Shetland pony, his knees would be scraping along the ground. We might just stay with this for a minute because we've seen enough of Tim Gossage, really. And we'll get the betting here. Do you want to call this, Jen? Now, come on,
well,
race caller.
I'm just going to have a look at the field. No, I won't go into the race calling profession. Number 3's in front, I can see that.
Travelling well, the leader too.
Oh, there he goes.
He's jumped it beautifully.
Oh.
Look, he only has to stay on his feet to win.
Yes. Well, and over he goes. Far too good, number 3.
Yeah, that was number 3, Tennessee Blue, with Monica Herman in the saddle. And really on its last performance, Jen, you wanted to be on it.
A bit of a dodgy start there, I might say that.
Let's go down to Tim Gossage. Tim, you ever ridden a Shetland pony?
No, I haven't, Peter, and bless Tennessee Blue's little heart because that's the only winner I've backed all day. I've had a shocker. But anyway, down here they've opened up Rock You and Rye Hero equal favourites, and the bookies, well, they are cheering that Bright Spot gets the protest.
Well, we'll find out. The protest is still going on. They're in the stewards' room as we speak. And the respective riders, Michael Carson and Brian York, the respective trainers, Morris Campbell and Terry Whitford. Let's have a bit of a listen in.
Allegedly had 2 incidents on him. He's based his protest on interference from the 400 metres to the...
Well, he did in his evidence say that he shifted out how many horses into the run of the post or so?
4 to 5,
4 to 5 horses in the run of the post. That's what he said in his evidence.
Yeah, but my question to that, sir, is that he said there was an incident when he turned behind, and then again at the 200 metres. He hadn't stated that he, as he said, he had received interference from the 400 metres to the win.
All right, do you wish to answer that, Michael Carson?
Just what I've stated, sir. Like I said in my statement, I said the horse shifted out a horse at the 350 round the 400, which I had to avoid. He feels to go out, and then from then on the horse drifted out.
Did Vitaman make any contact with you?
He didn't make any contact with me, no. He just took me out.
He didn't make contact? No. And did you stop riding at any stage because of the alleged movement from Vitaman?
Well, I stopped in the first incident. I had to turn my horse's head out to avoid his heels and come out off the track, which is the run I wasn't told to take.
Did you stop riding? Did you have to stop riding?
On one occasion.
On one occasion.
Mr. Thompson, any questions of either rider or any observations?
My name is Dell.
Oh, Mr. Dell,
I'd like to after I've seen the video. Because it's impossible.
No, if you had any direct observations of the incident yourself, now's the time.
I believe there's absolutely no merit to what he said, and I'd like to comment further after.
We'll have a look at the video. Any questions from the steward? No, we'll have a look at the videos together, the head on and the side.
And while Des Gleeson and everyone in the stewards' room are having a look at the videos together, we'll come back to you, Tim, and it is no holds barred in there, and well it might be, because first prize $97,500. They're trying to argue their cases the best way possible.
Absolutely, when there's punters' money involved, and that's something you've only seen the last few years, is what goes on in the stewards' room when there is a protest. Fascinating, isn't it? Some fashions on the field. We'll take a break, then come back and talk to Bart Cummins.
Around the lawns at Flemington on Stakes Day, there's one thing you'll notice, that kids develop their very own taste in clothing at a young age. Let's take a look at what the best dressed are wearing in the fashion on the fields for kids.